Okay, I see red numbers now. Okay, so this is a one-shot I'm putting together for Monster of the Week for some friends I have. Some from the Kikoskia. Oh, Ari, you're going to need to be back in the Roll20. Some from the Kikoskia Discord server, some from uh, the Knights of the Night Facebook community, and some from the Scion Discord server. Uh, Now, what Monster of the Week is, and I have done one shots of this before on that you can see on my YouTube, is a Powered by the Apocalypse game where you play investigators who are looking into are monster hunters, sort of in the vein of Supernatural with the Winchesters, or Buffy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or Angel, and that sort of line. So we'll go ahead and start, and I think we'll start with Ari. Go ahead and introduce your character.
Well, I have the professional JC St. Ham. He is from this dubious corporation incorporated, which is set on getting the monsters. Getting the monsters. He is very professional.
Okay. Um, let's go on and move to the next person. Beandle, could you go ahead and introduce your character?
Yeah, my character is Jessica Greens. Used to be civilian, ran into incident, supernatural attack. She witnessed. There were no casualties, but that kind of got her on the path on hunting the supernatural herself. She had 3 very minor cases previously, which one of them turned out to be a complete false alarm. There wasn't actually nothing supernatural going on, and now basically she's waking up with everyone else for the first time in whatever is going to happen next.
Okay, then. And on to next is on the view. It's going as Richard D, but I believe everybody known as Fetal Pile.
Yep, that would be the one.
Go ahead and introduce your character.
I am playing Goods, which stands for Giant Orb of Damned Souls. I am a giant orb of writhing faces that represent the souls of the damned. And, well, let's just say me being here is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. I reckon I just appeared.
Oh my.
And last but not least, let's go ahead and introduce Rist's character.
Hello! Today I'll be playing Elena Floros, a very unfortunate heiress of Achilles that just so happened to be found by an ancestor cult, worshipping heroes of the Trojan War.
Okay, then. Now, to start with, let's go ahead and run for a history thing. We'll start with going back in snake order. Elena, go ahead and tell me, look at the history section, and tell me, pick one for each of the other 3 characters. Let's see. Or we can go to somebody. We can go to Ari first, since he's played this game before, and we can start with him, and everybody else can look. That actually might be a better idea.
The history thing is not on the sheet.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Okay. So.
Getting my character sheet from the PDF. Just a moment.
Okay. You'd think they would include that.
Nope.
Okay.
All on the PDF.
Oversight on the people who designed the character sheet. Okay. Let's see.
So we just go around and choose 3 facts for other people, yes?
How you know each other, yes. The lists are suggested. You could just make up how you know each other too, but there's a list of 10 for each person that's a suggested one that's fitting for your playbook.
Given that I already said that I actually don't know anyone here. As far as I'm like, as far as my character is concerned.
Jessica doesn't.
Well, knowing and knowing.
If you want to skip the history thing, that's perfectly fine. Usually, when you play this game, you assume that people have past history with each other. So, if we're going to do that, everybody is perfectly fine. Is getting to know each other for the first time. I'm going to go ahead and lay down that what is happening. That this is a small town that has been plagued by strange occurrences recently. It is up in Pacific Northwest. It's a little bit isolated. It's on the edge of the Rockies. It's not easy to get up and down. There's trees everywhere. It's a fairly affluent area, and maybe this particular town maybe has 20,000 people living there. So by modern standards, it's not a fairly big town, but big enough. And of late, there have been weird occurrences, weird deaths, beast maulings, and strange deaths that cannot be attributed to in medical terms. Things that have no. It's both in the same place, yes. I'll say the name of the town is the Alder, the Alder Grove. I'll type that out.
Okay.
Well, I have a reason to be there. I have a job.
Okay. So, Jay is there investigating because of the corporation sending him there. Jessica is there because I guess what would Jessica have heard most? About the beast maulings or about the strange deaths?
Probably the beast maulings.
Okay. What is one fact about the beast maulings that you make it up yourself that stood out for you?
Probably that inner organs were removed from the back side. Nothing specific, just random organs.
Random organs removed out of the back?
Yep. Why specifically the back, I have no idea yet.
Okay, and going back to Jay, what is your corporation most interested in? The strange deaths or the beast maulings?
If it's a beast, if it's a monster, they want to destroy it, so that.
Okay. And as a note, I was going to bring this up, but I think we're getting right into the action. Normally, professionals don't start with a team. That is an improvement you get with experience.
Ah, okay. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is the death that came to the attention of your corporation? Describe who was killed and what was extraordinary about it, other than random organs removed out the back. Basically, make up a name for somebody who was killed.
It was the librarian, Hank Williams. And all the books on the shelf were also missing, and it's an occult section.
Interesting. Okay, so goods. And I'm leaving Elena to last because there is a start of session move that I will have to get to with that. Look at I believe it's Destiny's Play thing, so you know what's going to be coming up. Goods. What is
I've seen it.
what has interested your writhing ball of damned souls in this event? What we've got a couple of things about the strange death, about the beast mauling. So, tell me something about the strange death that has made you think it's something connected to your situation.
Well, whenever Goods was formed, they were surrounded by corpses of cultists and burned books. And now they think, missing books? What could this have been? Could there be another summoning going on? What could this be?
Okay.
Could this be somehow related to my summoning?
Yes, and the strange deaths, the ones that aren't maulings, what is a symptom about them that stands out? Like discolorations or expressions on faces, what is something that stands out?
Their eyes are gone, and instead they have burn marks from within their eye sockets, as if fire shot out from them.
Floating eyes. Yummy.
And burning eyes? Floating burning eyes? Or?
Burning eyes.
Yeah, burning eyes. Okay, Elena, before we get to your move, what is the name of one victim of the deaths where the eyes are burned out from within that you know about?
Piero Toristos, the supposed heir of Hector, but he was killed, and the cult is very much not approving of this and sent her to check.
Hair of Hector. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Pierre, what was the surname?
Toristos.
Okay, got it. Okay, so now go ahead and roll your move. It's, I believe, Destiny's Plaything, and
It is weird.
yes, it is. Ooh, something bad is going to happen to you.
Oh dear.
That's a nice start.
As the good news is you get an experience point.
Who?
Because in this system, you get XP whenever you fail. As you're taking, how would you travel to there? Would you travel by your own car, by bus? How would you get there?
Taxi at the moment.
Okay.
And the only things she carries with her are her makeshift armor and weapon kept in the trunk, concealed in her luggage.
Amusingly, you have invincible, so the armor actually doesn't do anything.
I'll just get rid of it then. Just keep the weapon.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe she doesn't know the invincible thing. Knows.
Yeah. Well, you can keep both if you want. We can make it magic armor and have it do something on its own. But anyway.
Or it's just a ruse to make people believe to be hurt.
Yeah. Players max out at 2 armor in this game. There are ways to reduce damage more because there are moves that aren't armor that also reduce incoming damage. But anyway. So as you're in the taxi, sitting in the back seats, kind of just leaning against the, waiting and watching the trees pass by as it's climbing up the road to take you into Alder Grove, you have just you're kind of drift off, and you got this image of a tree loaded with bright, shiny red apples.
Oh dear.
That are dropping out of, and as you watch, they're dropping out of the branches. And something beneath is trying to stay out of the way of the apples as they drop. You can't quite get a look at it. It's not quite man-shaped. It is distorted. It is a bit monstrous.
I assume it fills me with deep dread that I can't name.
Yes. And then the dream cuts off. Okay. Now, I'm going to get to move this along. All of you, let's choose one. There is one recent position that it's the most recent death. As you come in, everybody's kind of from wherever it is you come in from. Everybody kind of is reacting and screaming and talking about it. And I'm assuming Goods is coming in kind of a little bit out of view, listening from shadows somewhere. But there are people talking about how a football player for the local high school found dead in the middle of the football field, eyes burned out. His name is Eric Magister.
Spot is a good place to start.
Yeah.
So this just happened?
Recently, people are talking about it. It happened within the last. It happened recently. Perhaps there are cops come. I would say when you start coming up to it, there are police cordoning off the area, and trying to shove people away. But people are already talking about it and already know it's already in the gossip line as to who it is. But the official reaction is just starting.
So I presume we are all more or less just rolling in roughly at the same time.
Yes. How do you each arrive? Let's start with Goods. How are you coming in on the scene?
Is there an alleyway nearby?
I would assume so. Either that or a tight clump of trees. Yes.
Okay. In that case, Goods is going to perch in the tree. And just start. I assume a tree is a good enough vantage point to maybe, get a look at the crime scene.
Yes, it is. Okay, Jay, how are you coming up on the scene?
I have driven my Escalade a bit higher ground so I can survey the surroundings and what is happening. I'm kind of like not staring at anything, but like keeping an eagle's eye on surroundings. That if something pops up, something stirs my interest.
Okay. And Jessica, what are you doing?
Rolling in on the nearest parking lot with my bike, getting off, and pretending to be a photograph journalist.
Okay.
Just so I can get closer, talk to a few people, get open.
And Elena, what are you doing?
I've been walking around town all day with a duffel bag holding my weapon on my back, searching in vain, and I've heard of something strange happening, so I go to investigate.
Okay. So we'll start with Jessica, since you're directly talking about trying to pass as a journalist to talk to people. It's like as you start approaching, the police officer said, "Nope, sorry, ma'am, we can't have anybody in here. It's a crime scene. Please stay back."
Well, I'm staying back, take a few distance photos, and look for a potential vantage point to get on that public access, of course, and see if I can a better view from there, if I'm not able to sneak in yet.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a read a bad situation. That's going to be rolling plus sharp.
Read. Sharp.
Ouch.
Going well.
I think my game needs to reload. Hang on.
Uh, just a moment. For whatever reason, your character sheet is behaving funnily.
Yeah, I noticed that. So
Yeah, it popped it up on front of mine.
Yeah, well, in my issue, oh, there we go. My issue with it was just a little sliver up at the top. You can go ahead and close it. I accidentally hit show all players. Okay.
Hang on. Try to not get in again because apparently game question.
Okay. So the good news is, Jessica, that you gain that you do get an experience point for that. The downside is as you're poking around, looking for signs of how to get in, you're suddenly have your hand grabbed by by somebody. You turn around and look, and there's another cop, not different one than the ones at the front, and he's looking at you and saying, "What are you doing around here? Get away from here."
I'm leaving. Okay.
He's not letting go, actually. There is something really not quite right about his face as he stares at you, though, and there's a kind of a feralness behind it.
Might this register on my hawk eye vision of something weird happening?
Yeah, at this point, it's like I'm going to assume that anybody, because I need to get you guys together pretty quickly to get the scenario moving on. Anybody happens to be where they can see that this person grabbing hold of her. The civilians maybe not. They think they're in somewhere secluded, but all three of you are in a position to actually see this. But this person is grabbing hold of you, and it's kind of reaching out to grab you with his other hand, and you can swear that the fingers are starting to lengthen even as they're reaching out for you. What do you do?
Kick him in the crotch.
Okay, I'm going to call that kick some ass, and please roll your tough.
No, just kick some groaning, not ass.
Good luck.
Come on.
Hello, please roll your tough.
Yeah, I'm trying, but it doesn't let me. Hang on.
You're not tough enough.
Yeah, apparently. There we go.
Oh, yeah, no. He's grabs hold of you, and you can feel claws scraping into your shoulders, and you take 2 harm. And you can see the ears kind of lengthening with reddish fur as well, and the mouth starting to distend as it leans in towards you. Let's see. Elena, you're on the ground. The other 2 are up high. So what do you do as you see this happening?
Get out my weapon and try to throw it as hard as I can.
Okay.
The weapon.
I'm going to call that protect others. So go ahead and roll me your tough.
Ouch.
On the plus side, we have 4 XP in the first 4 rolls. You pull out your spear and toss it. The person does he lets go of her clearly and bats away, and immediately turns towards you and starts rushing toward your way. Paws on feet up, like on 4 legs, kind of a tail, or is it tails growing from the back? And As a note, I believe one of you has a move that they can read. When they see a strange creature, they get to ask a question.
That would me, I think.
Do I add an experience point or something?
Yes, right now you both
Okay.
have 2 XP, which means I need to start getting the other 2 doing stuff.
Yeah, as I said, I'm probably the one that can ask one of the basic questions. Which, probably best question right now would be to ask what sort of creature is it?
You're thinking this is a kumiho. It is a shape-changing fox that eats usually livers, but it's usually Korean. He didn't look Korean. But anyway,
Here I have unarmed myself, having thrown my only weapon.
I'm going to assume the weapon can come back to you at some point. But yeah, that's an interesting point. It'll be a little bit because you did roll a 6. Okay, Goods, what are you doing? And do you have a way to get down there?
Yeah, Goods floats down from the tree directly over towards what he assumes, what they assume is police brutality, and they shout,
All of you of the civilians.
Wrath of God, as they shove, as a red hand emerges from one of the faces and into the throat of this, which I assume would be a kick some ass.
It is kick some ass. Basically, you use kick some ass whenever there's a chance of you taking damage as well. If there's no, if they have no ability to respond to you, you just do damage.
Alrighty. So what is the? It's 2d6 plus tough.
It would be 2d6
Or
plus
actually,
tough.
sorry.
You could just push the button next to tough though.
Okay, I believe this would actually be since this is a magic weapon. I believe this would be weird, right?
No, that would be a special move to kick some ass with weird, which you don't have.
Gotcha.
But your tough is better than your weird anyway, so this is better off.
Yep.
Go and actually
my
use
tough
my
is-
weapon better than I do, please.
I'm clicking the dice next to it. Is it a? Oh wait, do I have a forward with this? Sorry.
The next person after you has a forward, which means
Has
it's
a
probably
forward,
going
right.
to be Jay. Oh wow!
Right.
I mean, a good roll. That's another thing that's... Yeah. I suspect that the dice may be rigged in some way. Well, that's a game somehow only rolls 1d6.
Okay, so the red harm hand does 3 harm magic. Okay, let's see. Coming to think of it, I probably should have had you act under pressure to get there in time to do something. But anyway, let's see. Where's the other thing? There he goes. So, you get to choose an enhanced effect. You can completely hold the advantage, giving all hunters in the fight a +1 forward. And the next person to roll gets 2 +1 forward. So the next person gets +2, and everyone else gets an extra +1. Suffer no harm at all. Attack inflicts double the normal harm, or your attack drives the enemy away in a rout. One of the 4.
I am going to hold the advantage.
Okay. So you push it through and grab it and slam it over against a wall in this alleyway and deal your deal your harm to it as it is off balance and surprised and staring at what it just really can't comprehend what is going on. Jay, you've been what are you doing? You've been watching all of this.
Yeah, I've been staring at what the heck is happening down there. So now I'm revving my Escalade down this grassy hill and rolling in for some bumper action.
Okay. Go ahead and give me act under pressure.
Powerful.
Go ahead and give me an act under pressure to get there without too much trouble going on. Okay. It's going to be a plus cool.
And I have nothing that affects that.
You have a +2 since you're the next one running. Because you get a +1 forward from the one-liner and you get a +1 forward from the advantage. So you get +2. I am not certain how you got to 0.
Yeah, me neither.
It says, I'm currently checking. It says 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So there's something.
It's 9, I think, going by the roll.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check to make sure it works. Okay, so you're going to be able to get down there, but you're going to get down there in time. You're going to get down there speedily, or damage your car, your Escalade, or
No!
you're going to get down there with the Escalade in perfect condition, but it'll be a little bit before you can actually act.
A little bumper action always gives a dent, so it's gonna get some scrapings.
Yeah, so you're driving down through over on this ravine past trees. You're hearing this screech across one side of your car as you come tumbling into the alleyway and push and drive your Escalade in between the other people and the monster, as it barely kind of shuffles out of the way. Okay, Jessica, what are you doing? You are free, and there is now an Escalade between you and the monster.
Well. Probably get in the car myself as well.
Okay. Anything else? You get in the car just perfectly fine. There's suddenly, Jay, there's this person sitting, just opening the car next to you. Is your car door unlocked?
It is. I was preparing to get the damsel from the distress.
Okay, cool.
But now it's locked when she's in.
Okay, Elena, what are you doing?
Well, the monster is dazed. I guess I'll go try to pick up my weapon.
As soon as you think about it, it comes back to your hand.
Oh dear, amazing.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't care. Please kill it.
I decided to throw it again.
Go for it. It can't fight back at you. The nearest thing that could happen is, but I'll still have you roll kick some ass because there's environmental damage now.
I get a +1 forward, yes?
Yes, you do. So it should be a total of +3. Oh no, a total of +2 because yeah. Let's see.
Wait, I added +3. I guess it doesn't matter. It's still a fail.
No, that is just because one of the rolls was a 1. Let's see. It's barely a fail. Okay. So, yeah, you toss it and stab it through. Here's the one thing I really like about Kick Some Ass, about Powered by the Apocalypse. A fail does not necessarily mean the attack fails. It means something bad happens. It's up to me to choose. That something bad can mean you missed, but it can mean other things. But what happens in this case is that the spear stabs straight through the fox-like monstrosity, and staples it, impales it, pins it to a wall as it sits there, kind of shriveling up and shrinking down into the police officer it was before. And somebody screams and calls out and starts pointing. You look down, you see a civilian screaming down the alleyway and then running out to call for the police.
Oh dear. Can I try to run after her and calm her down?
Get in.
I run after the The
You know-
person that thinks I murdered someone immediately.
Oh, bugger.
I have a
Well, at least I had the sense to get to the person that saved me.
You can go ahead and try to chase her down and try to talk her out of it. Give me an act under pressure to try to catch up with her before she gets away.
I would rather
That's
suggest
cool.
Ramsey.
That is
So
cool.
that's cool. I
Yes.
mean,
With a straight cool, no bonuses on this one because you've used your plus forward. That is an 8, so it's a hard bargain. You can catch up with her, but you're going to have to grab her kind of roughly to get her to turn around and talk to you, or she can get away and you're not do anything, and you can at least call out what's going on.
Can I help there in some way? Given that I'm also the cop?
going by proud Greek Achilles tradition, I'm going to roughly grab her.
Okay, Goods. How did you want to help? I believe it was Goods. You said you want if you
Oh,
were-
sorry. I was well, at this point, I was more curious if she saw me
Not
whenever she saw the policeman die.
She saw the policeman die. She may not have seen the beach volleyball of damned souls.
Well, concerned with their mission, they just roll up the policeman into their.
Oh god. This is going to be even harder to explain now.
Go ahead and give me use magic.
Okay. I believe that is weird, yes?
Yes, and you do get a +1 forward on it because this is your first roll since you did that action before. Yeah. That corpse is absorbed within you.
All right. And the policeman's face pops up alongside the others.
Oh, cats.
Is there something to being an inhuman ball of souls that makes you extremely lucky? If so, can I join the collective?
Oh, yeah.
Don't.
As a note, Elena has gotten 3 experience points already, and when you get 5, you get an advancement. Okay.
So I would like to just tell y'all that corpse is gone. Ain't nobody gonna be wondering about that no more.
That does mean I think that everyone else in the group saw you absorb a corpse, right?
Yeah. Everybody saw Goods do this. Except for maybe Elena.
So,
I was just trying to get out and pick up the body and stuff it into the trunk, but well.
nobody to pick up anymore. Well, it's clean.
Okay.
But,
Stuff you in the trunk
okay.
now.
Okay, so Elena,
Serious?
you've grabbed hold of this woman. It's like, let me go! You just killed Officer Hendricks! What are you doing?
I killed no one. Listen to me, woman. I killed no one. That thing was not a person.
What are you talking about, that thing? Give me a manipulate other. This is going to be charm.
Get ready for another fail, I guess.
Probably.
Failing is
Whoa!
Alright.
Okay. So, when you manipulate someone on a 7 to 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them. What do you mean? What do you mean by it was not a person? I've known him.
Look, we can just go back there and see it. There's not going to be a regular corpse there, I promise you.
That's going to be interesting.
Okay. And you'll let me go?
I don't have any reason to keep you, yes.
Okay. And when you get back there, where is Goods?
Goods is just hovering.
Oh
Get
dear.
in the car.
Yeah.
So
I think in my case, I just open the door and suddenly suggest the floating ball in front of us to get it.
Then floating through the window. Is it big enough?
give me an act under pressure to get out of sight before she rounds the corner.
Okay.
I'd appreciate it not looking like a crazy person, yes.
Is that okay? What is act under pressure? Is that cool?
It is cool, yes.
Okay. And I have no forward on this, so
Nope, all the forwards have been used up. And we have a 0 roll again because the roll 20 is being silly.
yeah. So
It's-
it's actually a 5.
5 plus 0, so if it should include someone forward, it should be a 6, I think.
Okay. So, as you're coming around the corner with this woman, you see here a floating ball of screaming faces, and just as you round the corner, the officer's face that you were talking about, and it's a distorted fox-like monstrosity face, kind of bulges forward on this floating ball of doomed souls, and she shrieks and takes off running down the street.
God damn it.
Drive after her, grab her when we pass her.
As she starts running out, you start hearing you start seeing, looking down as you're driving off onto the road, trying to get out. Actually, no, I'll give you an act under pressure to try to do this.
I may want to point out I'm still sitting on the passenger seat bleeding.
You're not unstable yet. You don't start bleeding until you get to forearm.
It's a wound. I'm bleeding.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
okay.
it's not an unstable wound, but I'm, blood is flowing, so.
So the Escalade, damaged as it is, comes rushing out, passing around beside Elena and cutting off this woman and opening the door for her to get in, and cutting off Elena. And what do? She is cut off, and now she has seen person she's grown up with dead. She's seen seen floating ball of monstrosity. She's been harassed, and now a fast-moving car has cut her off. What do? What does Jessica do? Actually, Jessica hasn't used her +1 forward. She's the only one that hasn't had a roll since that.
Yeah. Depends. Which way around are we standing in front of her? Is the driver's side or the passenger side? Face towards that woman.
Ari, what side did you pull around on?
It was the side where Jessica is not sitting.
The side where Jessica's not sitting.
So the driver's side.
Yep.
Huh.
You do see police starting to pay attention to where you are, and Elena, you're hearing calls for Officer Hendricks over the radio, where he dropped the radio before whatever happened to his corpse happened. And I'm assuming Goods is floating there along beside you.
Well, I guess I'll try to duffel bag my weapon again and try to leave.
Okay. And
before, the scene is surrounded by cops.
Yep. What is Jessica doing with talking to the girl that you've just cut off?
Given that I actually have no idea why she's running away, screaming specifically, I mean, I saw her seeing a giant dough ball.
I screamed, get in quick!
Yeah. I could just say to get us inside.
You're trying telling her to get inside?
Yeah, we'll calm it down, probably.
Okay.
After that.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a manipulate other roll real quick.
Let's charm.
That is charm.
I have 1 robot, so...
One is actually better. One is actually pretty good.
Whoa.
Well,
What a charmer.
she is very eager to get away from all this that she gets into the car. And I'm going to go ahead and cut to, I'm assuming the others of you. Can we assume that you pick up the other two entities involved in this?
Probably.
That
So
will do her very much good when we start stuffing the.
that's the impression that came to my mind. I'm saying, well, I was just going to have her run away, but you guys seem intent on keeping.
Yeah, Goods had followed her whenever she ran, confused as to what was going on, and quoted Proverbs 28:1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Essentially confusing her for being wicked for running away.
So she's running into the car, you following and dive into the car as well.
Yep. So, and Elena, why? We're going to assume you get in. I'm going to ask that you get in the car, but why? What reason does Elena get into the car?
Because it's the fastest way out of here,
Yeah.
and it probably won't result in a night in prison at this rate.
Yeah.
Or at least
well,
in hope.
Xenia probably also the one person that getting attacked. She tried to help is in the car, plus this floating boulder that helped out is in the car, and the person she was chasing after is also in the car. So pretty much 3 people she wants. I suspect she wants to talk with are already in the car as well. So
Okay. So yeah, she's in the car and starting to calm down when first the ball of rotating souls shows up, and then the lady carrying the spear shows up and sits on either side of her, and just sort of freezes, and then
Hello, we meet again. It seems.
Jace,
Nice of you to run away.
Yeah, Jace starts.
maybe you don't want this. Yeah, maybe you don't want to scare a woman you just caused to brown her pants.
And Jace starts putting the gas to the pedal as the police start trying to get together. Go ahead and give me another act under pressure, please, Jay, because you do have a loud, obvious car, and getting it out of sight is going to be an issue. So, here's the thing. You can get out of sight and either get a place that's very secure, but that car is going to need some work before it's running again. Or you're going to be able to get a place of safety, but it's going to be only temporary.
Are we just going to go to McDonald's now, all of us? Just go into the drive-thru.
Yeah. Only temporary hideaway.
Okay. What is the temporary hideaway?
Oh, it was the McDonald's parking lot.
A what?
Amazing.
A McDonald's parking lot? Okay.
Oh gosh.
Might as well order as long as we're here, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe we start introducing ourselves on the way to each other, because
Okay. You get parked.
You have a few minutes of time.
You get parked just perfectly in a McDonald's parking lot between 2 large SUVs, so it's not immediately obvious which one is yours. And a police car, one police car goes streaming past you, blaring sirens. And now there is this girl about 18, 19 years old. No, let's say 16 years old, sitting there looking very, very distraught. She's like very pale in the skin. It's like all the blood is drained from her skin. It's really stark against her dark black hair, and eyes are wide and staring. She's looking at everybody. What's going on?
Goods is going to try and ascertain if she is free of sin or not.
Free of sin.
No one is.
Okay. Do you have a move to relate it to that?
I do not have any moves related to that. This is just trying to eye her over and see if she seems evil.
Go ahead and give me actually, I'm going to do the investigate a mystery in this case, and I'll do the new one that's not been released yet, which is instead of a specific list of questions, there you either get general questions or specific questions depending on how well you roll. So go ahead and give me a plus sharp.
Okay.
Because unfortunately,
Can we
the
help?
investigate a mystery questions are mostly geared towards investigating a creature.
We really need to help.
You
I
can
mean,
help.
the girl is technically
Yeah.
a creature, I
Any-
guess.
Anybody here can try to help. You could like be chatting with her. So
I'll
that,
do it.
Try that.
go ahead and give.
I'll try to distract her.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll on help other, which I believe is cool.
Yep.
That works.
Well, for some.
Okay, so Jay gets an XP. You get 2 points of help from them just talking to her and distracting her. Unfortunately, Jay, you're getting a little bit distracted with
Creepy.
goods and talking, and I guess kind of just out loud analyzing goods a little bit and thinking of, and maybe not quite outright saying what the corporation would want with that thing, but sort of. But you do get enough, and it's kind of setting her off, so she's kind of edging away from you, actually moving closer to where goods is and forgetting about it. The bouncing ball of damned souls. But you do get one general question, goods. You can ask me one general question. It can't be about a specific detail. It can be, you were asking about, is she free of sin? General?
Yes.
She, as far as you can tell, no more full of sin than any average sick teenager. So, really, nothing serious.
Okay.
Nothing chicken nuggets can solve anyway.
She, as far as you
Yeah.
can tell, she has never intended to cause people harm in her life.
Okay, goods does not absorb her.
Phew.
Yeah.
And in response to the chicken McNuggets, goods quotes Corinthians 8:8.
Yep.
But food does not bring us near to God. We are no worse if we do not eat, and no better if we do.
Good thing I'm not a monotheist, then. Yes.
What is that?
That is a ball of damned souls, I think. Going by how that policeman's face is still inside there, absorbed.
Why would Officer Hendricks be a damn soul? What did he ever do?
I mean, he did try to kill me.
It
And
was
me.
That's pretty damning in its own right, I think.
He also tried to kill me. I even had wounds to prove it.
Yeah,
He was already gone.
you pointing at the wounds, and she's like, "He did that? What? It looks like 4 knives kind of scraped into you. What?"
I don't
Four
know
knives is
exactly
a
what
very
happened.
good descriptor of what these claws look like, yes.
As a note, there is a use magic option that is show a past event, and I think somebody who has devoured a soul can use that move. Can you use magic to try to show the past of that person?
All right. In that case, I will certainly use magic to force the policeman or whatever that thing was to relate its sins to the world and say exactly what it did.
Poor girl.
So you get a glitch. Now the way glitches work in Monster of the Week is you choose the specific mechanical glitch, and I describe how it affects. Let's see here. The glitches are the effect is weakened. The effect is of short duration. You take 1 harm that ignores armor. The magic draws immediate unwelcome attention. It has a problematic side effect.
I'm going to say problematic side effect.
Okay.
He's gonna run away screaming again.
Okay. So, as you're sitting there, Goods is sitting there. It is shuffling forward this image of and what you're seeing is in the ball. A lot of the doomed faces kind of peel away, and there's a kind of a warped image of something something looking at the back of what looks to be Officer Hendricks. You don't get a quite. You're looking at it something perspective from something else, and as you watch, Officer Hendricks is patrolling around around the woods outside. I guess you may be his house. He's not in uniform, but you recognize him, and he's looking around with a flashlight for something. He's got a handgun in his hand, but he's not looking behind him in the right way. And this thing comes in and just pounces on top of him and starts eating into his flesh and blood, and then stands up, pulls the corpse away to hide it somewhere, and starts walking into the house. And you look in the mirror of this thing that just devoured Officer Hendricks, and it looks exactly like him. All of you, please.
That'll terrify her well.
All of you, please act under pressure for me, except for Goods.
Oh.
Act under pressure. Hang on.
Ooh.
I can roll re-up instead. I just noticed.
Oh,
So
because you're
yeah. Just another day for me. So I cannot exactly so my re-up set is better.
Yeah, it's 1 point better, which is significant on 2d6. But the good news is you get experience. Okay.
Well, I have bottled it up, so let's see.
Ari's the last one that needs to roll.
Do we literally all get experience at this rate? Because we all did.
I have had the situation occur where everybody got an advance within a one shot.
This rate we're getting there.
Okay, Ari, you're just fine. It presses in on you, and it's like your head wants to burst, but you hold tight of the wheel, and you're able to hold it back.
Seen worse.
Unfortunately for Elena's fine. Elena, you have a thing. You can stay conscious, but it will cost you. You're getting conflicting images. You're hearing shouts and warfare back over centuries, repeated over and over and over again. So you can stay awake at a cost of a -1 to your next roll. Or you can pass out.
I'll do that.
Yeah, okay. Unfortunately for Jessica, everything right now, this is just overwhelming. It's sensory overload. It's like you touched in on whatever it was Goods was connecting with, and you're just trying to process all that information, and you pass out.
Oh, and look, you have 3 holes on me now.
I think Jessica's getting close to leveling up.
I think. Hang on.
Yep.
Let's
I think
see.
I have 3 experience right now.
Yeah.
Not sure.
3?
The easy way is to go back and see how many times you failed.
Yeah, I'm 3 experience then.
Wait, does this count as a fail? Because I thought 6 and under count as a fail.
6 and under counts as a fail. So yeah.
Yeah, then I'm 3.
Roll20 does this easy thing that it outlines in red if the lowest number of a die was rolled in any group of dice. So it's kind of misleading.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, the girl beside you is just sitting there going, hyperventilating. What was that thing? And as she's
Somebody help her.
yeah, as she's saying that, you're coming clear of the whole effect, Jay, and looking through, and you're seeing a police car stop in not quite past the parking lot and starting to pull reverse and looking very slowly in your direction.
Act like nothing to it and make the next left.
Okay, give me an act under pressure real quick. So I'm going to take this. Okay, the first one is for the other thing. So, let's see. The choice here is you can get out. You can get out fine. You're going to be still within the area where he can start following you. Or as soon as you're out of sight, you can peel off running, but everybody within the car is going to take 1 harm. Now, the people who have armor, that's not a problem.
I trust they all have armor, and I got it.
Okay, so
I forget about the passenger girl, but oh.
Jessica, you get rocked back to wake to a sudden amount of heavy pain as your head wraps against the dashboard, but you're awake again. The girl beside you is having a panic attack that is going towards clutching at her heart, and maybe had an actual small heart attack there. I believe Jay and Goods and Elena all have some level of armor.
Yes, Invincible gives 2 armor.
Yeah.
I have 2 armor as well.
And I try to calm the girl down, even through my migraines of endless warfare.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a manipulate other real quick. Actually, no. You're not trying to get her to do something. Give me act under pressure. So cool.
That's with the -1, by the way.
That is with the -1. Okay. So it is at this point. Let's see. Hard choice or a tough bargain. I think at this point I'm just going to say you're going to calm her down, and I'm going to ask. Let's see here. Where are you going? You're going to get out of the scene now and move to somewhere else, more of a permanent thing, out of this, maybe a little bit out of the city, out of the town. You're going to find a structure somewhere you can, an abandoned one that's not been used in a while.
An old barn.
An old barn. Okay. As you're in the old barn and get out, what is everybody doing? Let's say skip ahead 20 minutes. What is everybody doing now?
I'm trying to converse with the girl again and try to explain the situation so she doesn't, go insane from all this stress. And the fact that we're at an empty barn, the perfect serial killer hideout.
Yeah. Okay.
Goods also tries to talk her down.
Through the voices of the multitude of evil people you've devoured over time?
Yeah. There's probably some centers that have soothing faces in there.
I guess good cop, bad cop works. And the bad cop is a ball of
And the bad cop is
terrified souls.
just... Yeah, the bad cop is just...
Okay. Is anybody treating not Elena, Jessica for her injuries?
I can do that. I've been tending to my car, so next is the passengers.
Yeah. Priorities! Good to see that you have them straight.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So Jessica, you are down to one more by one wound, so you're going to go down to 2 harm.
Wasn't I at 2 harm already?
You took 1 from the car.
Oh.
It woke you up all of a sudden.
Yeah. As you guys are in the middle of doing this, she's got this attitude. She's got this impression that she feels that you guys are not going to kill her, but she's kind of freaking out about and thinking about all the strange things that have been going on. Does that mean monsters have been killing people in my town?
I mean, we also have effectively kidnapped her. So,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
We have rescued her from a worse fate.
I would rather go with the kidnapping at the moment, but then again, if she wants to leave, she can probably go, more or less, right now.
As you're talking to her, there's a ringtone coming from her pocket.
Checking it out.
Yeah, I just said she should answer it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to let her call her parents or whatever.
Let's first check who is calling before I let her answer it.
She pulls the phone out and looks at it, saying, "It's my stepmother."
Answer it then.
Okay.
I don't have anything against your mother,
So,
particularly.
Yeah, maybe let's just try to leave us out of this, if you can.
Yeah. Regia is it's like, oh, okay. She says she wants to talk to you. How does she
Me?
know?
What?
How does she know who you are?
I have no idea. I'm very suspicious.
I go check outside from the doors and windows, not walking outside.
Okay, the one person I want to let should answer first.
Okay.
Fine.
I'm who's answering the phone? Because that right now I want Jay to do a read a bad situation, but who is answering the phone?
I guess I'll try to treat Jessica's wounds since no one else is.
Somebody else already did that, but you can again. Go ahead and roll. Actually, roll a use magic since she's been treated once. That will apply some Greek things again.
Oh dear, my -1 skill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so there's going to be a glitch there. What is that glitch?
I choose the mechanical effect.
You choose the mechanical effects.
She'll only speak in ancient Greek for 5 minutes.
Oh,
You're just fucking with me right now.
I'll go ahead. Usually what it would be is you choose problematic side effect, and I would choose that, but I love that. So yes, Jessica, you are speaking in ancient Greek for 5 minutes.
You hate me right now, don't you?
I'm very lucky I can understand you, by the way.
Yeah. Elena comes up to, and who do you evoke to heal her? Asclepius, Hermes?
I know.
Clearly, I evoke Apollo. Clearly. Because we need music in this place.
Okay, cool.
Are you serious?
Okay, so Jay, please roll for me. Read a bad situation. I think you have a move that lets you use cool for that, but I'm not sure. Yes, you do. You roll cool for that because you are a tactical genius. And whoever did this character sheet cannot spell tactical. don't see anything that could be explained that where people
Bit
could hear you.
bewildered, yeah.
Yeah. Who is taking the phone from her, out of curiosity?
Well, I can't. I'm currently busy speaking ancient Greek and probably complaining about alien to it.
Goods will.
Okay, so Goods.
Great! Oh god, I'm face falling right now.
Your accent is atrocious, by the way.
Do you manipulate the phone by telekinesis, or does the pseudopod type hand come out?
One of the mouths grabs it. One of the mouths is just kind of holding it in its mouth, like the face stretched out and grabbed it.
Okay. Who am I speaking to?
Oh god.
All of Goods' faces kind of speak a name at the same time, and it's very, very impossible to understand what they're actually saying.
Ah, so I'm speaking to the angel. How wonderful.
You are correct.
Ah. Tell the company man that he can come back inside. I doubt he's going to see me. He's looking in the wrong direction. He should look up. Toward the ceiling.
Oh god.
Goods swallows the phone and immediately goes into the bar.
When you get in there, there is a mirror at the top of the barn. It's an old mirror that's just been left there forgotten. It should have a dusty image on it, but instead it's a very clear image of a woman standing on the other side, looking very put out. She's wearing a very practical but fashionable suit with pants and the jacket. Very high-end stuff, and her arms are crossed. And she's maybe 40 years old and has definitely still retained a lot of her beauty.
I may be speaking ancient Greek right now, but I presume Goods can understand it because probably there's one soul that is from that time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, I'm speaking to Goods. Listen up, volleyball. Please get the mirror down, please.
I have a question, by the way. Did you steal the cell phone soul, by the way?
That is a question for our GM. Does the cell phone have a soul?
Very important questions right here.
Is it a smartphone? It's a smartphone. Maybe it has a soul.
I'm going to leave that up to... Let's do a use magic roll to see that.
Okay.
If it succeeds, great. We have a living moment.
None of you are good at weird, so this is potential for... Okay. It does not have a soul, but you kind of have at least temporarily absorbed some of its... You've at least temporarily absorbed a lot of its data.
Oh dear, you absorbed part of the internet.
Yeah. And curiously
more like a set of these, I presume.
a lot... It looks like at least 3 of the victims are people that had interactions with this girl.
Hmm.
2 of them were from the eyes being burned out, and 1 was torn asunder. It was the father of a friend of hers was one of the mauling victims. The Hank Williams was one of the mauling victims. He was a father to one of her friends. The other 2 was a teacher and another student, somebody on like a cheerleader.
Is she a socialite, or is she like...
She's definitely from money. She's adopted by somebody her stepmother married into their money.
Hmm.
And then Her father died of cancer soon afterwards. And speaking of the mother, I'm guessing Goods does bring down the ancient the mirror.
Like what?
Yeah. Goods brings down the mirror.
Just bring it down, hard.
Regia? The girl says, Winter, please be quiet. Everything is going to be fine. I have been trying to keep her away from all of this. Thank you very much for breaking that for me.
That's good. I do appreciate being thanked for saving her life, yes.
That goes without saying.
Did you ever get me inside?
I don't know. Did you guys ever call him in?
No.
So,
Um,
where is the
I guess I'm going outside and dragging in his collar or something. I mean, I'm still speaking in ancient Greek.
Jessica comes out and starts talking at you in ancient Greek.
No, I'm
Your
just grabbing
accent
and
is
pulling
still
it.
atrocious, by the
Slow
way.
down, slow down. I don't speak Jewish.
I'm
I'm not speaking to him. I'm just
Rude.
grabbing him and
Very
pulling him
rude, by
in.
the way.
out of
Very
curiosity.
rude.
Does Jessica know ancient Greek normally?
No.
So she knows what she's trying to say, but she doesn't recognize any of the words that are coming out. So she doesn't have any idea that if what she's saying is what she wants to
Yeah.
say.
Hence, I'm not even saying a word. I'm just grabbing and pulling him in.
Yeah.
I probably notice her distress and I pull a couple of guns out and follow.
It's like,
Very, I don't know, gun happy.
I am.
well,
Got
stirred
lucky.
up a hornet's nest. They're going to start moving soon now, more obviously.
As I come in and I hear this, who is that?
Okay, let me add this up. Stepmother talking to you through a mirror.
Okay.
I guess nobody
You
watches.
are there. Why?
Yeah. What was it called? That one fairy tale? Yeah. Got that. I don't remember the name. Snow White? What?
Wait,
So
wait.
she is the prettiest of them all?
No, she is the evil stepmother.
Yeah, she is the prettiest of them all.
Well,
Pointing at the girl.
that was a long time ago. I've moved on several lives since then. This is my stepdaughter now. I've been trying to protect her. This is not what I've learned from my mistakes.
Wait, did she just admit to being an evil stepmother?
From the past. She was that, but she's redeemed.
She's gone through
What?
several lives.
Apparently, one of them, according to Disney, she was crushed by a boulder.
Or danced. Or no, actually, the first one was I was made to wear hot shoes and dance until my feet burned off, and crawled into a swamp to die. Thank you very much.
I only watched the Disney version.
You are trying to save her, or keep her from what?
This world.
I guess you made a bad decision living in this town then, considering it's supposedly crawling with creepy crawlies.
Oh, that's new. That's new. I do not know what started. I do know they've been targeting my daughter. I do not know why. Wait, my
One
mother's
idea?
my mother's the evil queen?
Apparently, congratulations.
She's wearing a power suit. She's clearly evil.
Also, I presume that I'm not speaking ancient Greek anymore. Because that is...
Yeah, that's over with.
Thank God. So... I do have an idea. Maybe they're actually after you and not your stepdaughter, but your stepdaughter is the only person they can reach.
She actually blinks at that and considers it, and it's like she had never actually thought that they were targeting her at first. And it's like that tracks.
It could just be coincidence, to be fair. It's
Oh.
unlikely, but it's still there.
Yeah.
I am not familiar with these creatures, so I do know that they seem similar to were creatures, but I haven't. Were creatures transform people, they don't replace them, so I don't know exactly what I'm dealing with.
Oh, it shriveled up right quickly on my spear, so it's probably not something that deals well with magical weapons. But I don't think many things do.
Goods shows off the soul of the beast.
Show off.
Yes, pretty little things, aren't they? And she kind of sneers at it.
Actually, Goods is going to try and determine if she killed her husband.
Go ahead and give me read a bad situation. Actually, you're talking to her through magic. You're gonna have to do this with use magic.
Fair enough.
Staring into the mirror, right?
Wow.
Whoa.
Did you steal her soul again?
No.
No.
Okay.
Or did you?
So here's the big question I have for this is, did she kill her husband? And if so, was her husband evil?
She did not kill her husband. Her husband actually died of cancer. She did not start killing anybody this life until the monsters started showing up. And
How many?
she had all the people who have had the eyes burned out from within. You're now seeing Goods. You're now seeing images, and it's up to you whether this displays on the sphere or not. You're seeing images of apples being delivered to the people that die with the eyes burned out from within.
That tracks so hard.
It could have been more cliche, yeah.
Considering the dream I had in the beginning, the creature evading falling apples seems apt.
Fair enough, yeah. Goods is displaying this to everybody.
I think this might be a time for Jessica to try to pull out her investigate a bad. You might investigate a mystery, actually.
Could, yep.
You've got a plethora of data here.
Yeah. Well,
I guess I'll mention my bad
shot.
dream, if that helps at all.
Yes, actually. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll give that as a +1.
And +1 to the roll, then.
Yep.
So, great. A sharp, +1.
Yes, sharp +1. Okay, you get one general. Actually, I'll let you ask from the. Let me see. Do you have any? What do you have as moves, real quick? Just another day, desperate defense, which we may have forgotten. Oh, you suffer one less harm, so you're completely zero now.
Ah.
You're completely after all the thing. You were only you're fine. You're good at defending
You're
yourself.
fine.
You took the two harm, and then you've been healed for 2 harm.
Ah.
Okay.
So I'm fine again. Hooray.
Yeah. Okay. But okay, so you're going to get. Let you ask from the investigative mystery questions real quick instead of doing the general thing, because this is actually applying to the monsters, so those work.
Yeah. So
What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt
the
it?
creature question I already asked earlier. So
Right, you know it's a kumiho.
yeah. So
Where did it go? What is it going to?
what was it going to do?
Was it going to do? Okay, there is one creature. Kumiho is a spirit, not a physical entity. There is one creature, and it is trying to create pawns for itself to do the most of it of collecting livers. And some people are appropriate to this, and others aren't. That's why some of the bodies are mauled that aren't turned into monsters. So it is going to try to replace as many people as it can, and the legend is it needs 100 livers. But it might be looking for a special liver in this case, maybe the stepdaughter or maybe the queen. And it might be here specifically for one of the two, and then moving on.
So it's not inhabiting the one body, it's just coming from somewhere and taking it over and then returning?
Or it's puppeteering them from a
Yeah. Just releasing the control.
Yeah. It has to have. It's not physical, but it has to have a focus.
It needs basically a host to control from a distance.
Right, and so there needs to be, yeah. There needs to be a central focus.
What was the connecting point here? It was the daughter.
The daughter or the stepmother? Yeah, one of the two.
It's been aiming at one of the two.
But which one is closer to the victims?
I guess we could solve this pretty easily by taking the daughter to the stepmother. So either way, the monster comes after us.
Yes, that would work.
We are not using people as bait.
Oh, we're already.
We are luring it out and dealing with the problem. We are professionals.
Going by the legend, it just needs to kill 100 people. It needs to kill 100 people. It can keep doing that, even if we just keep an eye watch over these two.
You think that, Jessica, you think that the fact that it is focusing very heavily on specific targets, it can't just kill anybody. It has to kill special people somehow. So it's probably moving from town to town to find special people to kill.
But right now, it stays here to fight these special people, I presume.
Yeah. And I wouldn't exactly call it bait when we're already in danger. I do have some defenses here they haven't been able to get through.
Yeah. Well, the idea of bringing the stepdaughter to her is not a bad one. At least we don't have to worry about her anymore.
Yeah, I would say that it was that the place is probably marked on the GPS and in Winter's phone, but I'm thinking somebody ate that.
Then we have a nice beacon there.
Yeah, I mean, she probably knows where she lives, so she can direct us.
That too.
With that piece of information, Goods has already started floating off towards the house.
My first,
Get in the car.
yeah.
The car would be faster, I think, and less conspicuous than a pile of souls floating on.
And we're running after it.
Yeah.
You can take the trunk.
I think Goods is flying over the tree line now and going the direct
Okay,
route.
follow it. Get in the car. We go.
Alright.
We are chasing the floating volleyball again.
This time I'm going in the front seat, not sitting next to the terrified girl.
Okay, I'm
Say
going back
again,
then.
buckle up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably better protected than anyone else in this car, even unbuckled.
Yeah.
Just from armor.
I'm buckling. Yeah, I'm putting on my seatbelt.
I'm gunning it.
Do we actually know each other's name already? In character.
Oh, we can just, let me ask you, have you guys introduced yourselves to each other yet?
I mean, we can do it now
I don't
while we're
think so,
driving.
no.
And of course, Goods would
Because
give that cacophony of names.
Yes.
The name's Elena, by the way, even if you strange people do strange things around me.
Jessica Greens. Nice to meet you,
Hey.
even though the circumstances are not what I would prefer to meet you people.
Okay, go ahead and
I'm
give
just rhyming.
Goods. Give me an act under pressure, real quick.
Yep. That is cool then, yeah?
Yes.
I've got 0 up. And it is a 10, actually. It just says 0
Again?
plus plus.
Question, if you type in the forward, do you type in +0 or just 0?
It says plus 0. And it comes
No,
up
I mean if you're typing in the forward thing. Because there's a small comma.
Yeah.
I assume it's by default a positive integer, and you put a minus there to
You
interrupt
need
it.
to have. I think try pushing the cool now and seeing if it works.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, I think what it was is you had it blank instead of 0, and so it was messing it up.
Oh, the cool actual. Okay, yep, that makes sense.
Okay.
I see.
Yep. Okay, so was it? Yeah, you managed to get to the house without any particular trouble. You get there and you find it is protected by a. It's not particularly visible, and most people wouldn't have trouble with it. But anything supernatural like you get this. You get to the edge of it and you feel like, I need to be invited. It's just it feels almost physical to you. Let me go ahead and get Jay to go ahead and give me an act under pressure as well.
Who, by the way, hasn't
Okay.
introduced himself yet.
I tend to do more die rolls than a lot of powered by the apocalypse people I've seen. You get there fine as well. You do not attract any attention whatsoever.
If the girl will calm down now.
Yeah, the girl is calmed down, sort of.
Coming with my elbow out.
You look out and you probably see is Goods just hanging in one place, or is it skirting around the edges?
They're basically just glommed onto it and are pressing up against it as loud as hard as they can, and also emitting extremely loud shrieks.
What the hell is going on there?
No idea, Mr. Unknown, but
And also, just quoting any Bible verse that can be quoted about letting somebody in.
guess what?
Somebody call the mother.
Yeah.
I guess
We don't
that
have a
would
phone.
count if you're a somebody instead of Goods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should just ring the door.
Yeah. You guys walk up just fine, and the woman comes down to answer the door and looks out towards the angel and shakes her head and just says, "You can come in now." And immediately that barrier kind of no longer affects you, and you can come in.
Goods flies in with intense speed that's been building up from pressing against it.
I do appreciate you not trying to break my defenses.
Well, it's our defenses now too.
Yeah, the volleyball is... I have no idea what it's trying to do.
Elena will go and introduce herself to the old woman.
Yeah, I'm probably going to
Skiing on her
say...
shoulder and tapping along.
Okay. Pleased to meet you. You seem to have a bit of magic about you as well. I saw something of the fight. Interesting spear. And you...
It's very interesting, supposedly from my ancestor. Though I think I'll forego telling you who that is.
Yep.
Yes.
Jay is staying by the door.
I'm gonna introduce myself as well.
Okay.
Goods hovers above her head.
Okay. Now, there is, of course, the issue that if we're holed up here, they can't come in exactly, but they can manipulate people to come. The police will be coming here to ask about her as well, since you apparently kidnapped her. That'll be interesting.
We took her to safety, and you can tell them so.
Yeah, we dropped off.
Yep.
Basically, make up your own story. You know why she's not here. Please leave us out of it.
Yeah, the issue is it can't itself come in here, but it can influence people, and it can spread to other people out there while we're in here.
Yeah, maybe we should go after it.
I wonder if we could capture one and then use the connection to somehow hurt it.
That
Don't think
is
so.
actually a very good idea. Very good indeed.
Then we technically capture a soul of one of them.
Yeah, you have one of their souls.
You do. Oh, she kind of
Yes.
cranes her head to look over where Goods is.
But Volleyball ate one of the possessed people.
Okay, so, Winter, go into the room you're not allowed to go into and get me the blue book with the hexagon on it. Thank you. Now,
I don't think I might let her go alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go.
As soon as one of us is allowed to go with her, then
Jessica, out of curiosity, you just heard the hint that apparently a reincarnating witch just sent her stepdaughter to go to a room with books in it.
yeah.
What is
And
Jessica
Jay's
doing?
following.
I didn't hear that.
What is Jessica doing?
Well, when there was the suggestion that someone was going to go with her, so I probably suggest that I would accompany her a bit. Assuming I get permission to do so.
Yes, it'll probably go faster if you help her look. In that room, you open that door, and it's not locked. It's just that apparently she never tested it and went into the room. Or if she did, she just saw what you see, which is shelves after shelves after shelves of books of varying ages. Some of them really quite old.
I promise not to touch any of them except the one you're looking for.
I assume I'm still out front with the old woman.
Yes,
I'll try to do a kind of patrol across the yard,
okay.
outside of the barrier.
Okay. Well, are you sure it's your ancestor that owned that spear?
Well, that or it could be his enemy or someone else. Really, it's just a lot of blood on it.
You mistake my question.
And what was your question then?
Are you sure it isn't your spear?
It could be, once I've named it.
Yeah. Repeating life is a harsh punishment for past, though I suppose it could be a opportunity, depending on your perspective.
Woman, if you think I'm reincarnating as Achilles every few lifetimes, I think you have it kind of backwards.
Oh, enlighten me. How do I have it backwards?
I don't care for this, any of this. Achilles went willingly. I never had a choice.
That's a fair point. Probably a different situation than mine then. Okay. What is Goods doing while this is going on?
Goods is waiting.
Okay.
Goods is waiting for really any sign that that something should be done.
Okay, cool. Jessica, give me an act under pressure real quick.
Active pressure.
Sounds good.
Cool. What? Yeah. Act under pressure with weird. What?
Okay. As you're sitting there, you come to a you're looking through for a blue book with a hexagon on it with the other two, and you come to a curious tome that just seems to like thrum with it just seems to speak to you. And also on the plus side, you get an experience,
Yeah.
and it's like it's calling to you. It's this very pure white the very pure white leather tome. It's such a beautiful book, and it feels so very old, even though it looks pristine. And you reach out, and before you realize it, you're touching it.
Excellent. I just. Yeah. Do I have a choice here what I'm going to do? Because in that case, I'm not going to pull it off. That's what's up.
Okay, you're touching it, but you're not gonna pull it out. That's
No,
fine.
I'm just going down the spine with my
Yeah.
fingers.
And as you're running it down the spine and before you as you're doing that, you feel a kind of a shimmering and a shake, and it feels like something cracking or weakening. You're not really sure what. It's like part of your thoughts reached out into this book, and then you pulled back, realized what you were doing, but as you're doing that, something around you feels weakened.
Jay asks, "Did you find it?"
I don't think so, and I think I have potentially broken something. If you excuse me, I'm going back to the mistress of the mansion and ask what I just did,
Okay.
because I'm pretty sure it's something bad.
As you're doing that, the other girl, the Winter, says, "I think I got it. I got it. This is the book," and she's got a book that must be at least 7 pounds. It is an old, ancient tome that is probably the spine is 1 foot thick, and it's maybe a foot and a half tall by a foot wide.
I'll take
Metric
it
system,
from where I
please.
carry it.
Metric system, please. I have no idea what the Imperial.
As you're getting out there, immediately Regia takes the book and starts looking through it. It's like, okay, something to summon it. We'll need to make a circle, and
Something happened in the library. I'm not sure if it's something good or bad, but I think it's bad. But it's your house, so maybe you know more details about that.
what do you mean something good or something bad?
There was a strange glowing tome that. I looked at it, and the next thing I knew that I apparently touched it.
That's interesting. And what color was the tome, did you say?
It was light white leather, I think. Was
White. That
Yeah.
would be the tome that has all my defensive magic in it. You said you felt something break.
Yeah, apparently, I'm not sure how I should describe it, but I blanked out. I heard something calling me, blanked out, and then next thing I knew was I touched it and something felt like it broke.
Yeah.
So I think we might be in trouble right now.
Yeah, as you're saying that, you're starting to see cars pull up outside, and you're seeing the first one car pull up outside and disgorge a couple of people who walk up to the edge of where that barrier was. And when they touch it, it actually becomes visible instead of remaining invisible. And you can see kind of a crackling, broken quality to it. And these two people, they just look like normal citizens, and they start turning into vicious looking fox people. And you can kind of look down the hill from where you are and see other cars starting to drive up towards where you are now.
I'm calling in an airstrike.
I go near the gate or whatever it is and plant my spear into the ground, looking challengingly downwards.
Okay. I think we'll need to build this quickly. Now, a big magic is something that can't be done in a single roll. This is what you're trying to do, trap the essence of the spirit into a single place using that one bit you have, is going to be big magic. So I need somebody's going to need to help her build the circle and collect the ingredients.
Not me. If it's
I
magic,
think
it's
I made my
magic.
roll clear.
It sounds like it's probably going to be Jessica doing that.
Well, I broke it, I gotta have to fix it.
Yeah.
If you broke it, you buy it.
I wish I could. Even though I am not taking full responsibility
When
for it.
when the ritual is ready, goods will be needed to provide the essence of the soul the essence that's being used to draw out the monster. But until then, there is a small army of fox monsters coming up your direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm calling the
Goods
airstrike.
You're trying to do a dealing with the agency. Elena, normally you can't manipulate monsters, but I'm going to let you because you're being intimidating. Go ahead and do that, please.
And that's charm roll, yes?
Yes, it is. Actually, I think I'll let you do it as a... it's a move. It's a special move to do it with tough, so go ahead and do it with charm.
The choppers are flying.
Yep.
Works.
It works. It's like you sit out there and slam down your spear and stare at him. I could have also done it as use magic, actually, but now that I think about it, because you're borrowing of...
Oh no, I have plans for use magic.
Yeah.
Literally calling on the gods.
Yeah.
And then snapping.
Meanwhile, Jay, you're on the phone. You're getting word that there will be a chopper out to there in about 5 minutes. I'm assuming you've already made it clear that the monsters are not possessed people, that they are replaced people.
Well, they're targets.
Yeah. Okay.
That's putting it right.
Yeah. Goods, how are you adding to the defense? Because right now the monsters at the edge are kind of backing away from hitting on the wall, at least for the moment. What is Goods doing?
Goods is currently just still looming there, not necessarily directly above her anymore, more like circling around her head like a halo.
Which her?
The older woman.
Okay, so she is very quickly trying to trace out, using a stick with her stepdaughter and Jessica to try to do a very complicated circle. She's letting them do the base circle, and she's doing the more complicated symbols in the middle of it. Go ahead and give me act under pressure, and Goods, you can help if you want, if you can think of a way that how his presence can help them.
Currently, my idea is to just keep an eye out for anybody that has breached the circle.
Got
and
it.
React appropriately.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, give me act under pressure with Jessica, please.
Can do.
Okay, so you can do it very swiftly and quickly, but there might not be the most accurate circle ever, or you can get a perfect circle, but it will take time.
I'm taking my time.
Okay. Behind you, she's taking her time, and several of the beasts kind of regain their courage, or some new ones come up and start again pressing against the barrier where you can see it, and you're starting to see rents in it. And the first time a rent comes into it, you see what was probably before it was replaced, a 7-year-old kid go through the smallest gap that is released, kind of flows into something that is not quite, it's kind of a darkness, it's not even physical, and resolve on the other side as a 4-foot tall fox monster, and start charging his way at the woman and her daughter.
I interpose myself between them.
Okay, give me a protect other.
That's a tough roll, yes.
That is a tough roll.
Ouch.
Okay. So you're
At least that's another experience point.
That is another experience point. Yes, you're going up there, and you're just as you're not quite able to stop it from pouncing on top of Winter and pushing her to the ground and starting to trying to claw at her with its hands and fist or whatever. You can see ribbons being torn into the girl as she's screaming, and the older woman, the witch, kind of gets distracted and starts moving towards where she can try to go help her daughter, and and behind you is more monsters starting to form cracks. At this point, a helicopter starts coming by and strafing across the entire outside where all the gathered monsters are. You can see several of them being cast aside. The bullets at least knocking them aside, even if they maybe are reforming. But at this point, Winter has taken some harm. What do you do, Goods? You were watching for people to go get after her.
Goods snatches out a hand and pulls in the vicious child.
Go ahead and give me a tough. Kick some ass.
Okay. The kick some ass with the. And the one-liner is Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified. Lord, your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you.
Okay, so you're going to exchange some tough. So you have an armor of 2. So you're going to with that, you're still going to take 1 harm as the monster tries to tear at you as it resists being devoured. Okay.
Tough love.
Or this piece of it anyway. Jay, you're seeing after that the helicopter did its first, the gunship did its first, the black helicopter did its first pass over. Several of the bodies that were just torn apart are seeming to reform themselves into a massive thing and several other creatures are working their way through behind where you are. What do you do? There's a massive, it's about the size of elephant. It looks like a fox monster with
Bonnet.
I have 2 guns.
Burn it, kill it with fire.
And I believe you have 1 forward.
You do have 1 forward on this. You're rolling to shoot at it. It is charging at you. Give me a kick some ass.
Again, that.
Yeah, you also said once that not properly.
So that is a 7. Oh, ouch. I'm going to go with the first one that you rolled, which was a 7, though, which you exchanged tough. You both exchanged harm. Okay. Oh, earlier when you did the
might be a place to burn some luck.
It is a place where you can burn some luck. As a side note, earlier when you did the 10 plus and you unkick some ass goods, I accidentally gave you the advanced list instead of the normal list. But oh well, it was fine.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna burn some luck then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that is a 12. On the 10 plus list, the actual 10 plus list, inflict terrible harm, suffer less harm, force them where you want them, gain the advantage, one of those 3.
Advantage.
Okay, so you either take +1 forward or you give somebody else +1 forward.
I give +1 forward to those making the ritual.
Okay, because you're
buying some time.
You're buying some time. That monster kind of slams into you and pushes you off against you. You tear it up with its with your. You're wearing a flak vest and you have the +1 armor move, don't you?
No, I don't have the +1 armor move. I just have the flak vest.
Okay, you take 3 harm, slammed back against a tree, and have apples start raining down around you. It's staring at you and growling. It's focused upon you, while the people who are doing the ritual are going to have a +1 to that. Elena, the monster that was attacking the girl is pulled off by the angel. And there is a horde of other monsters. They're not smaller. These are more human-sized. And that elephant-sized one that just threw Jay back. What are you doing?
First, I'm going to kneel. And then I'm going to point my spear towards the sky and pray towards Zeus, Sky Father. And I'm spending a luck point, by the way.
Okay. So,
let the lightning rain.
Okay. I'm going to call that.
That's all right.
I'm going to call that summon a monster into the world, where the monster is Zeus.
Oh, great.
Or Zeus's lightning, at least.
Overkill! Also, Hades not probably the most pathetic, but I get Disney.
It's a
I
short.
guess the phrase of the prayer would matter, yes?
Yes, it would.
Right my wrongs this day, Father of the gods, King of Olympus.
Mm-hmm. As you're doing this, there is just a cascade of lightning bolts come down out of a clear sky. The sky is darkening in the wake of the lightning. Clearly, it's bizarre. It's shocking the monsters as they come closer towards you, tearing them asunder a little bit. It's no telling how long this prayer will hold. And the helicopter starts trying to go through and continue trying to provide air support, but gets clipped a little bit in the cacophony and all that, and starts gets damaged and has to go limp off to some other direction to make a landing before it just crashes in the chaos. Okay, so with
Note to self: Zeus doesn't like mortals in the sky.
so Regia's now gotten Regia's gotten Winter back up, and between Winter, Jessica, and Regia, you are ready to perform the ritual. It's obviously going to be Regia at the center of it, performing the expertise. But for some reason, the heart of this ritual lies in Jessica. You have a +1 forward to the weird here, but you are going to be the one rolling the used magic to make this all come together.
Alright, I have no idea why.
Because you're the PC.
Yeah.
And NPCs don't actually roll dice in this system.
Okay. Let's see how much I fuck it up this time.
Describe how she... Ooh.
Ooh.
Describe how she goes into the spell.
How she is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the spell exactly is, so I
The spell is...
presumably just step into the circle.
Okay. So this and you're sitting here. Regia is trying to lead you on to phonetically cast the spell along with her, and going over and over between looking at you and looking at her daughter to make sure you're looking at her mouth and wording it correctly. And it's just like, this is maybe the easiest thing in the world you've ever picked up. I mean, it's difficult, it's challenging, it's exciting, and but it just feels instinctive to you, at least in this particular moment, as if you're meant for this. Reggie is so focused on trying to teach the other two of you, and Winter's pained and scared and uncertain, but you've been dealing with the weird for a while. So with her guiding you along, and you're able to stay focused into this, the circle around you sort of just flares up in light as a darkness starts getting sucked into the center of everything, down to where under where goods is floating in the center of the circle, and gets bound up in a sphere of writhing. You're not really sure whether it's ash or smoke or something in between, but at this grotesque, or maybe even just tar, but it's black, it's dirty, and it's now trapped within the center of this circle that you've helped build.
Okay.
And all the monsters around you just sort of fall apart as they're drawn into the circle with it.
Spirit vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Well, speaking of vacuum cleaners, Goods is going to descend into the circle, assuming they're not already in there, and speak one line to it. Isaiah 44:22. I have swept away your offenses like a cloud, your sins like the morning mist. Return to me, for I have redeemed you. And is attempting to absorb it. Specifically,
what else?
is attempting to manipulate it into joining it for absolution.
Oh my goodness. You're trying...
I have a feeling that's a very bad idea.
It is a thing that the summoned can do with monsters that can think. Go for it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, unfortunately for me, manipulate somebody, unless they already trust me, costs 1 luck and is automatically a 12.
No. That's with people. Monsters is normal.
Okay. Monsters is normal?
Yes.
Okay.
Given that I was part of the ritual and that sling trapped in front of me, can I help out in some way?
You can.
Good,
You're still kind of wrapped up in this magical epiphany. If you want, you can roll a help out with your cool.
And is this charm for me?
This would be charm.
Okay.
Yay, yay.
And
Well.
I'm gonna use a luck to improve my roll. 12.
I do have to point out I have now 5 check marks, I think. If my mouse isn't wrong.
Yep. Okay. So. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie. You spend your luck, and a beast slouches into the world. Now, the greater part of it comes into you as a source of a place to come home and be redeemed or whatever. But still trapped within it, Jessica, you feel slammed with energy of some sort. And it just fills you for a few seconds, and then it feels like it's gone.
So finally passed through me, or it's
Yep.
now stuck in me. I'm not sure which one of we was.
Yep. And Regia kind of looks between you and the angel and kind of looks at you and just kind of with wide eyes and just, that is not good.
No shit.
Oh dear.
And I think we'll cut this scenario there because you have defeated the monster.
Yeah, I created a new one.
Yeah.
Now there needs to be a monster for the second week, yeah? Monster of the week.
Yeah.
Really?
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. What this does allow for is the well, I wouldn't normally be able to do this this time slot regularly because this is 3 a.m. for me, and I work in the morning. But what this would kind of allow for is if Jessica wanted to later, she could go towards monstrous.
I probably won't.
She didn't lose her soul, but the essence of a evil fox demon is now absorbed within it.
I assume that will be enough justification for her to pick up monstrous moves.
Oh yeah, definitely. She could also, with the white book, I was going to suggest, I was going to have Reggie comment that she probably should do more serious looking into magic.
Cool. I can now cast magic. Great.
So yeah, you had 2 misses. Misses let me do interesting things. They're fun. You had 2 misses that basically gave me justification to say this is a thing that could change the very essence of what your character is if you wanted to do it down the line. Now, at the end of a session, you ask 4 questions. Let's see.
Me specifically or everyone?
Everyone, did we conclude the current mystery? And I believe that is a yes.
I believe we did, yes.
Did we save someone from certain death or worse?
Well, we saved Winter, but she got mauled in the end, so maybe.
But did
Probably, I'd say
Got a
yes.
cool
I'd
scar.
say yes.
that's a yes. She did not die. She did not get devoured by a monster. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Zeus does not like mortals.
That and apparently
They're real.
sometimes the soft creatures can bend the rules for different goals. I mean, instead of the 100 levels, was looking for one specific one. Apparently.
Did we
Which
learn?
is unusual.
Yeah. Did we learn something new about and important about one of the hunters?
Yeah, don't leave goods alone with anything he can absorb.
Don't
Well,
let
apparently he's a
the
crazy man.
angry ghosts around stuff because it'll just absorb anything it touches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we need to pet train him, apparently.
Maybe get him the Quran or something so he can quote
I mean,
other than Bible verses.
Well,
yeah.
the examination of a closer examination of Regia would reveal that her kind of cycle of reincarnation has been doing a lot for the good of her soul. So they might decide not to absorb every single villain ever from this point on, but who knows?
Yeah, she got lucky, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like this close. If there was a moment where she could have gotten killed and thus her liver could have gotten eaten, I was just gonna eat her.
Oh, she would probably have preferred that to be devoured by the Kumiho. So yeah. Okay, so if you get 1 or 2 yes answers, you get 1 experience. But if you get 3 or 4, you get 2. You got all 4 said yes, so you would get 2 experience at the end of this thing. So you would all advance.
I think I advanced with my flavor earlier.
I have
think
4, I think. Yes, 4.
Yeah, I have 7 now, I think.
Oh, you would almost
I
all
advance.
advance.
Yeah, I have 7 now by my calculation.
But anyway, I might try to do another one-shot because I have another 2 weeks, I believe, because I go back to school on the 27th, or I go back to teaching on the 27th. So I might do a couple more because this was fun.
I'm all for it, as long as I'm not forced to speak ancient Greek again.
Look, it was funny, so it had to happen.
Yeah.
That's my rule for role-playing.
Yeah.
That's a fair rule.
Maybe between this one-shot and the next one we can potty train the floating board. Not eat everyone again.
Yeah. We can come back to this on next week in the same day, if that's possible.
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
Do you have a question for how it's supposed to be played? Since you mentioned that you specifically prefer to roll more dice during play than most others. That would mean experience is kind of low on the ground in most games. Since the fewer rolls you make, the fewer chances you have to fuck up.
Yes, actually. I find rolls fun because they have a chances of fucking up, and the fucking up is very interesting. And in this game, it's not necessarily, it's fail forward. It's not necessarily a sign of your character being incompetent. You can still make the characters incompetent, but make something bad happen as in response, which I like a lot. It basically lets me ramp up the drama.
It's win-win.
Yeah.
It definitely adds a lot of chances for character development that would not normally be there.
Yeah.
Because especially whenever you get a choice.
Yeah.
Do you want to harm a citizen by accident, or do you want to just miss?
Yeah.
Like, it speaks volumes to the character.
Yes. And
I'm also looking at Powered by the Apocalypse games under M, and there's something called Monster Hearts.
That would be that would be like Twilight.
Oh,
Catch goods there next week.
Indeed.
That I've never actually played it. My group, basically, each of the playbooks in Monster of the Week is related to it. It focuses around different kind of story, kind of. In Monster Hearts, each of the playbooks and monster types you can take are different sorts of
urban fantasy romance archetypes. Yeah. I think it says here.
Yes, that, and also they're different sorts of dysfunctional relationships. Each one of the archetypes has a different sort of dysfunction. Like the mortal plays the victim a lot to manipulate people. The vampire is very disconnected. The werewolf has anger management issues. There is a chosen in that, and they drag people into their crap and get people hurt around them.
Didn't that just happen?
Isn't that just Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Pretty much. There is also,
It was removed from the second edition, wasn't it?
but the focus in Monster Hearts is very more specifically on the relationships end. Monster of the Week can do a little of that, a bit of that, but it's more focused on combat. And also, there are moves explicitly related to sex or at least intimacy in Monster Hearts.
Ruh-roh.
That won't pass the YouTube algorithm, I don't think.
There
Especially
are
not when goods is involved.
It depends on how much fade to black you do. But yeah, I have never played it. With my particular group, we looked at it and we're not comfortable with it. But there are a lot of people that feel it's a very good game and that it allows for some exploration of sexual themes that are in a mature and interesting way, or just screwing around.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
Yeah, both ways. Cuts both ways.
But yeah, this was fun.
Yep.
I had a great
Indeed.
time, personally.
Thank
I
you.
don't know how much it felt like we were fumbling look forward. when we made a bad decision, it seemed to be straight playing into Luke's pockets, and it just kept piling on us. I mean, like we were playing his rules or his playbook without even knowing it.
Yes.
To make a comparison, I've noticed, it seems when you fail in Power in the Apocalypse, you still move the story forward, whereas if you fail in D&D or something like that, you just fail. You just made a roll
Yeah,
that
you
and
try
you fail.
again.
Yeah.
I used to make that mistake in Powered by the Apocalypse a lot, where I would do the D&D thing where they would just fail. And it's like, oh, a fail is a fail. But I was reading an example in the superhero one, Masks, where they did a failed combat roll. And the result of the fail was they beat the heck out of all the minions they were fighting. And then realized after the fact that all the people they were fighting were brainwashed victims.
Oof.
Well, that's not often.
And then they had to suffer take a powerful blow, because the damage in that isn't hit points, it's conditions, they're emotionals. So all the physical injury is fluff, which is
That makes sense.
because it's superhero.
Yeah.
And physical is kind of easy. It doesn't lead anywhere. But if you start taking conditions, that will be stacking and
It
Yeah.
doesn't
providing more
interrupt
problems.
personal storylines people get up to, because the warrior, 20th level warrior, suddenly failing to hit every single time doesn't make him look like an incompetent dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one thing I did in another Powered by the Apocalypse thing is I did do that, rolled that fail. This was the Fellowship, and I just had the warrior fail to fight, and it just resulted in not being fun for the person playing it. And
Yeah. I heard something similar from Spoony, where he told a tale basically where someone had to get a group of players had to get on a moving train, and they had, I think, 7 fails in a row.
right, and the main thing with Powered by the Apocalypse is to keep the failure fun, and also the failure can still be you succeeded at what you did, but it might not even be a failure. It just gives the GM opportunity to do something bad. What I should have done is have her character obliterate the minions, but in doing so, damage because she was playing kind of a berserker type character, damage the hallway around them so it starts caving in.
Ooh.
That's after the fact what I should have done. Or something similar.
I especially like it because sometimes the bad thing plays directly into what the players want anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and it
To be
still
honest, it
furthers
seems
their.
like it could be implemented in D&D as well.
It
Just
should be.
if they make a low skill check, it's not just you do something low quality or something, you still do it, but something complicates the thing.
Yeah, I do. The last time I did D&D, and the last time I ran D&D, I went 23, 25 sessions, and then it collapsed upon itself. And it's part of that was personality things. We had some people that hadn't played before, but anyway, but what it was is I was trying to do that where, like, if a particular character's background was they were a scholar or whatever, that when they rolled knowledge things of stuff that should be really easy for them, that a failure would still get them information that didn't other wouldn't get it. It's just a success would get them huge amounts of information. Whereas somebody who didn't have that background, I was still doing it like, well, yeah. But D&D...
So making the backgrounds more relevant rather than, oh, you picked to be a merchant in your backstory and then you suddenly fail to haggle.
Right. It's still a lot harder to do in D&D because
It's a lot more binary.
Yeah, and also a lot of like cool stuff you want to do is there will be a specific feat or skill or something that applies to that. And so if you let someone just do it because it sounds cool, it devalues the people that spent resources on it.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I'm GMing D&D, I'm playing this real game of trying to let people do cool stuff without stepping on the people that paid to do that cool stuff.
Hey, I gotta get out. Family's calling, but let's talk about next week in the chat.
Okay.
It was great. Thank you.
I'm gonna
Later, bye.
Bye. I'm probably going to edit out a lot of this ending conversation, but I'll be putting this up on my YouTube in a little bit. Talk to you later.
All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna go eat.
Bye.
Bye.